What's up guys, I'm Ravi KK and welcome to another Java Swings tutorial. And in this video we are gonna see what are event handling in detail. Okay, so till now what we did was we just concentrated on GUI designing, but now what we'll look at is whenever we click some kind of a button, some action should be performed. For example, let's say we have created a login screen. Whenever we click login button, some kind of action should be performed, like opening of any window or authentication of the user or kind of stuff like that. So now I've created a simple program. Okay, so let's run this file. So look at this frame. So whenever I'll click one of these two buttons, text should be written over here, stating that what button you clicked, whether you click the first button or you click the second button. So now I'm trying to click this button, but no action is performed. So we'll basically look into how to perform actions whenever user interacts with the application or user interacts with the JFrame. Okay, so let's dive into, let's look at our real life example. Okay, so this is a real life example. Whenever your friend or some kind of stranger wants to interact with you and you are sitting inside your house, so basically what he'll do is he will ring the doorbell, or he'll just knock the door, and he'll notify us that someone wants to contact to us, or someone wants to interact with us. Okay, so he is the one who is generating the event. Okay, he is the one who is notifying you that he wants to contact you, and what we are the listeners. Okay, so basically what we'll do is we'll listen to the doorbell and we'll just open the door to see who the person is, and accordingly we'll interact with him, we'll perform our actions. Okay, so in the same way, what we'll do is we'll implement the same concept programmatically. Okay, so as I said, I've created a program that has two buttons and a text field. Whenever I'll click one of these two buttons, a text should be written over here automatically. Okay, so you'll not manually write that you have clicked the first button. Will not manually type. Whenever we click one of these two buttons, a text should be written automatically. Okay, so we'll write a code for that. So the first step that needs to be done is we'll have to import the appropriate class. Okay, so that is java.awt.event.action event. So action event is the object that you have to pass to a listener that will handle the event. Okay, so I'll show you that listener. What is the listener? Okay, so after importing the appropriate class, so what we'll have to do is we'll have to register the appropriate component to a listener class. Okay, so we'll have to register both these buttons to a listener class. So we'll do this button one dot add action listener. Okay, so we'll register the second button also, that is add action listener. Okay, so as I said, there is someone is there who is generating the event, and someone has to be there who will handle the events. That is, a listener class should be there who will handle the events. Okay, so button 1 is generating the event, button 2 is generating the event, and the object has to be passed to a listener class. Okay, so we'll do this like so we'll call a new class, that is the listener class who will handle the events. New button listener, listener, and in the same way we'll call the listener of the button 2. Okay, listener. Okay, so we'll have to create another class, that is a listener class, who will handle the events. That is class button listener, sorry. And so we'll have to implement these to the action listener class. And okay, so that is implements action listener. So basically what this implements action listener does is it will override all the methods that is written in this particular interface. Okay, action listener is an interface and it consists of methods that has to be implemented to a listener class in order to perform the action. Okay, so we'll have to import that interface, that is java.awt.event.actionListener, and we'll have to import, we'll have to override the appropriate method, that is public void action performed and pass the object. Okay, so we have registered our buttons with the action listener, and we have registered our buttons to a particular listener, and we have called the listener to perform the appropriate task. So what our program is intended, what my intentions are, just to just on click of either of these buttons a text should be displayed over here. So first of all we'll check what button is clicked. Okay, so if ae dot get action command, so we are getting, basically what we are doing is we are getting the command. We are just checking if button 1 is clicked. If button 1 is clicked, then perform this task, or else if button 2 is clicked, perform this task, another task. Okay, so if ae dot get action command dot equals, okay, so string gets passed, basically the label gets passed to the button label gets passed to our listener class. If it equals let's look at the label. What is the label? If it is equals to button first, then just display on the label, that is text field dot set text, that is you have clicked the first button. Okay, in the similar way we'll create a hand method for if block to our second button. Okay, we'll copy and paste that, and if this equals button first, second, then just display you have clicked this second button. Okay, so let's run this class. We'll discuss this briefly in our next tutorial. Okay, so just keep this in mind. There is an object who is generating the event, and there is another object who is listening to the event and handling those events and performing those tasks, those appropriate tasks. If you have 10 buttons in your JFrame, if you click any of those 10 buttons, you should perform appropriate tasks to all those 10 buttons. Okay, so we'll create a simple calculator in our next video tutorial, so your concepts will be clear. Okay, you should practice this event handling. Unless and until you do not practice, you'll not be you'll not be perfect with what event handlings are. Okay, so let's run this code. Okay, so let's exit the previous frame. So let's run this code. Okay, so let's click this. Okay, so at the button click of the when we are clicking the first button, the text automatically gets typed in the text field, and when we click on the second button, so look, the second you have clicked the second button. So another way of how to do the similar kind of task is, instead of calling a new class and then implementing the new class with the action listener interface, and then writing the methods of this action listener interface, what we'll do is we'll call the action listener over here and then implement the methods here itself. Okay, so let's comment this class, whole class, and just delete this and just type in new, new, and just type A and press Control space and type action. Okay, so you'll see action listener over here. Just press enter, and now look at this. After pressing enter, you'll see a method that is public void action perform. So it came automatically, we didn't have to type the whole thing. So just delete this throw, the whole line. Okay, so in the similar way we'll do this. Okay, new, press Control space, action listener. Okay, okay, so now type the code whatever you want over here. What actions you want the your application or your frame to be to perform. Okay, so what's the name of the text box? Text field, that is text field, text field dot set text. Okay, you click the first button. Okay, similar way, dot set text, you click the second button. Okay, so let's run this code whether it is running successfully or not. Run file. Okay, so now look at this. When I press this button, you click the first button, you click the second button. Okay, so this was the second way of how to write code for your events. Okay, so now let's look into our JFrame form. Okay, so as you know how to create JFrame forms. If you know, if you're not familiar with how to create JFrame forms, just watch my previous videos. So what I did is I just dragged and dropped two buttons over here. I changed the labels by edit text, and change the name of to button by changing the variable name, that is button 1, and for this button, that is button 2. And the similar way changing the name of this text field as text field. So how to handle events in the JFrame form without typing the code manually as we did till now? So it is very simple. Okay, just right click on the button and go to events, and what kind of event you want. Action event, action performed. Okay, so just write the code over here. It's as simple as that. That is text field dot set text. You click the first button. Okay. So go to the design part again and just right click over here, events, action performed, text field dot set text. Okay, you clicked the second button. Okay, that's easier. Second button. Okay, so let's run this code. When you click the first button, you have text over here, and when you click the second button, you have text over here. So this is it with what event handlings are. Okay, so I apologize with all the background sound that you are hearing, because since my house is besides the highway, you'll hear a lot of horns, people speaking. Okay, so vehicle sounds. Okay, so I apologize for that, such kind of content quality. Okay, so look at this, there is a horn again. Okay, so that's it for this video. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. Please comment if you have any doubt.